Philip, let's take a step back and just discuss offshore sentiment and also, let's say, domestic sentiment. After we've seen a slew of economic figures here, remittances continuing with that uptrend. You've got manufacturing data still on the expansion mode, but you still have exports disappointing. You've got the weakening peso and the oil story here, plus the Fitch downgraded outlook. How is this all? Is there sort of net
A
effect
lot
here?
going on there.
Which side is this veering towards? Optimism or more pessimism?
Well, first of all, I think we have to be happy that we're at 6,800, not at 6,000, right? Um, so, you asked first on the foreign sentiment. It's obviously still generally been negative, but last month we saw inflows. I think at the end of the month it still recorded a slight outflow, but the Mondanese IPO, for example, attracted quite a bit of interest in the Philippines, and I think it also opened the eyes to foreign investors to other blue chips that were still looking quite attractive and still are looking quite attractive today. So I think the foreign investors will come. There is concern. We have an election coming up. They want to see what policy will be looking like, which is still going to take a while to understand because we have no idea, who's going to win. Um, and obviously, we have a health crisis that we're still battling with. Uh, at least from our point of view, this third quarter is going to be critical for us in the battle against the health crisis because this is when we do expect to see the inflow of vaccines and the ramping up of vaccinations across the country and opening up. We are opening up the economy. We can see the mobility numbers are much higher. Well, they're back to where they were, a little bit even higher than where they were in the first quarter with that recovery. Um, so, so I think, there's reason to continue to be optimistic. The downgrades that we've heard about are not surprising. I think we started to hear downgrades as early as March. As a matter of fact, we downgraded in March um, because of that health spike happening and the anticipated lockdown. But our downgrade is right around where folks are talking about today, 5 to 6% GDP growth. The second quarter is going to be interesting because hopefully we'll be finally out of this negative GDP growth trend that we've seen with this second quarter. Those results should be out in the next few weeks. Um, so, lots of bits of news that are going to be coming out to be able to dictate a little bit of what the direction will be in the second half. And I'm still optimistic that we're going to see some fairly good numbers on GDP. We're looking at growth for sure. I've seen forecasts from 5 to as high as 8% for Q2. Obviously, that was coming from a minus 17 number, so we should see some growth, I hope. Um, Earnings are on track after the first quarter. We will start to see earnings results come out very soon. I think the banks will be the first to report, and everybody's worried about those NPLs, right? I'm not too worried actually. It seems like the banks have things under control. They're going to be higher, 4, maybe 5%. They were talking about 9% last year, and now they're talking about 6. So things are starting to be able to be clear, and maybe the support the BSP is given, the banks are at least the large ones. I can't speak for every single one. Will seem to manage this crisis quite well, manage through it quite well.